Ho, ho, and ho. This is episode number 246 of the Grunge Bible Podcast as Grungemas rolls on. My name is Chris Salona, and I am here with Ethan Shalloway, coming to you on December the 8th or later on in the future. Ethan, it's great to be here. How are you feeling about being here? You think it's great? You think it's bad? How are we doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I think it's great that we're here, another episode. And I feel, we just recorded recently. We're not going to disclose when we're recording this. We'll keep it secret, but
we're neither disclosing where we're recording from or when we are recording. We're coming from an offshore black site right now.
But I feel exponentially. Yeah, and maybe existentially too. More festive.
We're always feeling existential.
More festive today.
Yeah, I feel pretty festive too.
It feels like literally nothing much has changed since we last recorded, but I
changed by not changing at all.
Yeah, I've changed by not changing at all, but I feel festive. I feel a little more rested, and I think because we're getting this out, we're recording a little bit early. We're in a good spot. I'm going to throw in a fresh zin for this episode because we own the night.
Yeah, we do.
And as well as, we talked about last week, we have the Grunge Advent, and we're going over the 24 days.
Leading up to the big day. But in my personal life, my cousin, I think I brought up the Bourbon Advent. So I am here. Yes.
I'm about to pour myself a little bourbon. And today we have Russell's Reserve 13-year Batch 6. And Chris,
so much better than Batch 5.
Yeah, and this one, we have a calendar here.
Nice, I like
of
that.
All the bourbons, and then on the back it has, little writings about it. But this one is, off of the restaurant that, where does it say?
This is very important.
Basically, this is $28 a pour at Jack Rose Dining Saloon. So. This is a nice little pour we got going on. So cheers.
Excellent. Yeah, cheers.
I also have a cup of coffee because there was some brewed up there, but we're going to pour the elixir in here. I wish you had a little something to drink,
but I missed the boat on this. I wasn't cool enough to take part in Whiskey Advent.
Yeah. No,
that's
you
all
know
right.
who is, Chris? I actually don't know if we did talk about this, but do you know who's doing the Bourbon Advent with my brother? Like it's my brother, my cousin,
I couldn't possibly guess.
You couldn't possibly guess, but you were going to be extremely happy when I tell you. And he's a man of bourbon himself, but the great Jeffrey Dugas got a batch of
Jeff Dugas.
Jeff Dugas.
You know what time it is.
So for the people out there, he is a
leading orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, he's right underneath James Andrews, and he's actually he's the team doctor for WWE. Like he did John Cena's ACL, he did the Undertaker's like tricep, and he worked on my shoulder a few years ago. But he owns a distillery in Birmingham, and I told him about last year, and he was like, "That's awesome." He's like, "You got to tell me about it when it comes up." And so I did, and he texted back was, "I'm in," and he was in. He's a man of few words, but he said, "I'm in." So I have to imagine that he's drinking day 2 right as I am.
Absolutely, I'm really happy to hear that. He's a doer. He's a man of action, and that's what I needed that right now. Honestly, that feels really good to know. It's good to know that he's out there taking her easy for all us sinners. So that's excellent, man.
So yeah, man, it's been good. I mean, I don't know if is this our official check-in? Should we say how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm also doing pretty good. Like you said, we're recording this one a little bit before the actual release date of this, so it always feels good to get ahead a little bit. Got a little travel coming up this weekend, going to see one of our buddies actually, Brandon Amo, down there in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I'm excited for that. Just got some things I got to take care of before I do that. But the show goes on, and we'd like to thank you for joining us wherever you may be. We would like to thank you for your support simply by listening, by sharing this with a friend, perhaps by leaving us a review, giving us feedback. And also, we'd like to thank everybody that chooses to go above and beyond by supporting us financially. And they can do so via the Patreon or via purchasing merchandise. If your little grunge-loving person in your life is looking for a hard-hitting Christmas gift, I can think of no better gift than a lovely cotton t-shirt, or maybe a winter hat, or maybe a crew neck, because crew necks are always going to be in. And we have all of those available for you for purchase at the Grunge Bible merchandise store linked in the show notes. Or if you're not a materialistic person and you don't want to shop for anybody or shop for yourself, and you just want to give us your money, you can do that on Patreon. The link is there in the description. You can join at a $2, $5, or $10 level, or you can give any level, any amount of money that you want, and we're happy to take it. That's for damn sure. But we would like to thank our top tier supporters on Patreon for helping continue to sustain this show. And at the time of this recording, the top tier is comprised of Abraham and Frank, followed by the Cracker Man, followed by Doug Endy, who always has tickets, Jamie Lynn, Carlene Salona, What the Fuck is Up Denny's, Black Hole Sean, Nikki Six, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Eddie Vedder Got Me Through My Second Divorce, Gochu John, Sherry Matthews, Russell, King Buzzo Stole My Hair, The Michael Dooley Project, Ultra Mega OK, A Bit Dusty, Heidi in Chains, Grits Likes Pasta, and Looking California, Feeling Minnesota. So thank you one and all for your continued and sustained support. As PBS always says, this programming is made possible thanks to viewers like you. And that certainly rings true here at the Grunge Bubble Podcast headquarters. We could not do it without your support. So thank you.
Amen to that. To holiday season of giving, and season of thanks as well. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, there's
a whole bunch of angles going on here, and I think this is going to be a pretty good episode. So we are going to go through the next several days on the Grungemas calendar. We are going to discuss this day in music history, which is a pretty stacked and eventful anniversary here on December the 8th. And then we're going to talk covers. We're going to talk about some of our favorite covers that were done by the grunge or grunge adjacent bands that we think you need to listen to. Always a good time to expand the horizons, or maybe revisit some songs before, maybe share some stories about, discovering maybe later on after listening to these songs that, hey, that's not an original and that is a cover. It's always fun to listen to different musicians or bands' interpretations of songs that we all know and love. So looking forward to that conversation. But I think first and foremost, I think the people are jonesing for the next several days on the Grungemas calendar.
They absolutely are. So picture this is December 8th, which is the day that you are hearing this wonderful podcast. And you open up the little box, and in there, I guess it's not a little one, but you get a gift. And we have a wonderful Christmas calendar. I guess it's not Christmas, it's a full year calendar.
Full year, yeah. We can't limit the scope of this to just Christmas, because
but lo and behold,
these are esteemed individuals.
Front page of the calendar, Abraham and Frank, the cutest basset hounds, and we have a full calendar, 12 months of a photo shoot that was done by for them, and it's just different landscapes. They're by water, they're on
tasteful.
the farm. They're on the farm, they're hunting, they're sleeping, and they're playing. But you got this incredible calendar filled with the two cutest basset hounds anybody could ever think of. And we're grateful for for this amazing gift.
Absolutely. It's been a stacked 8 days so far of the Grungemas calendar. And I think there's been a lot going on in the calendar. You've had some experiences. You've gotten to, get in the birthday zone with Eric Lederman. So you've partied, you've been hungover, you've gone to the show with Doug Endy, you've got some new clothing. So we need something to kind of bring us right back down to where we need to be. So on December the 9th, you're going to go over to that calendar, you're going to open it up, and there is a special gift in here from the spirit of Elliott Smith, and it is a pack of Camel Light cigarettes, which was his favorite brand of cigarettes. So throughout the month of Grungemas, whenever things are maybe getting a little too hot, or the in-laws are kind of sticking in your craw a little bit, you've got a special excuse to go outside for a few minutes and take a couple long drags from a nice Camel Light.
Saint Nick loved his Camel Lights, and so
yes,
did Elliott Smith. So they used to smoke together back on Cancer Corner, I heard.
That's true. What's your source? I made it up.
Incredible. So yeah, I get a pack of cigarettes, a calendar, and then December 10th, which would be Wednesday, open it up, and there it is, in cassette form, the debut album 10 by Pearl Jam. And I don't know, when I think about cassettes, like, I always think about this one, not because I had it, but everybody that talks about cassettes, like, this is a very, like, well-known, iconic cassette, right? You got the guys absolutely on, the iconic image and whatnot. And so, here you go. We're going all the way back, 30 years, and we got cassettes are back, and it's great. It takes you back mentally, and if you have a player, you can play it too.
Yeah, I think we said this before, but I would love to get into the cassette game. I was never really into. I think I only ever owned one cassette, which I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago. It was the Baha Men album with "Who Let the Dogs Out." So I'd love it if I still had that. That's really all you need in the collection. But if you had to add something to the Baha Men, the 10th day of Grungemas does not disappoint. So
I wish I could phone a friend here and ask Drew where the cassette. If it's better than, obviously it's probably better than radio, but where the quality is, like, is it still better than CD, or is CD bigger file?
What type of hertz it transmits in,
like
what the aspect ratio may be.
Is cassette still good quality, just not very, efficient here?
Yeah, I don't know.
What to ask Drew.
Story for another day. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to get a text back from him.
I was going to put that as one of our days, as we get a text back from Drew. You get a holiday text.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas. He would say something like Happy Christmas.
Yeah. Happy Christmas. Christmas spelled with 2 S's or something.
Yeah. Happy Chrysler. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
I hate those people.
Yeah, me too. I think, or like the people that are
Merry Chrysler.
or like Mary, like they say that. Like, I hate that shit so much. Yeah, that's out.
Too.
You will not be getting any of those on the Grungemas calendar. That's for sure. But something you will be getting on the 11th day of Grungemas. You're heading over to that little calendar again. And somehow, this must be a big calendar, because you're going to open it up on the 11th, and out pops a Dallas Cowboys jersey emblazoned with the number 11. And, you turn it over to the back, and if you're a music fan, if you're a grunge fan, because this was a very grunge operation, you're not going to be shocked as to whose name is on the back of this number 11 Dallas Cowboys jersey. It is Scott Stapp, commemorative jersey that he wore at the Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving Day halftime show circa 2001. And I will regale the story again. The rumor is, and this was confirmed by some NFL Network personality commented on one of our posts years ago, commemorating this event. And they said the story behind Scott Stapp wearing number 11 at the halftime show was because at the time he had 2 number 1 hits under his belt. And he felt the need to commemorate it with 2 number 1s on the jersey, which somehow makes 11, I guess. And now that jersey is yours on the 11th day of Grungemas.
It's perfect.
It is.
2 number 1 hits, man. It's such a legendary. If only, it's legendary. All right, for day 12, in the spirit
almost the halfway point of Grungemas here.
Yep, the 12 days of Christmas are beginning, I guess, on the 13th, but the first 12, the back 12, we're finishing up with. In the spirit of the bourbon advent, we are going to have whiskey from the Holy Ghost. And we originally had that you get to share a glass with Mark Lanigan, but story goes that he actually did not like whiskey.
The resident Mark Lanigan historian set the record straight.
He did not. So he is just giving us a glass of whiskey because, he's not drinking. He's drinking vodka or gin or something, which, makes sense.
Whiskey from the Holy Ghost for the Holy Ghost. Long live Mark Lanigan, man. That's a special gift here, and I'm realizing here that we've had a couple of different. We've got cigarettes, we've got whiskey, and on the 13th day of Grungemas, you receive a very special invitation from none other than Jerry Cantrell, the Riff Lord himself, and the invitation is to join him in the restroom for one of Jerry Cantrell's patented bathroom beers, which he was a large aficionado of back in the day. He no longer dabbles in the bathroom beers, but way back in 2023, he posted a lovely fluorescent sign at the 5 Point Cafe, and the sign is one of those neon signs, and it says, "Please don't do coke in the bathroom. Wash your hands." And the caption from Jerry of that photograph said, "Can't say I always followed the suggestion, but solid advice nonetheless." So, it's Grungemas, so I suppose we can kind of let our guard down a little bit and maybe disobey the sign once again for old time's sake.
There's actually a quote from Jerry around the 90s where he just said, "Who put all these toilets in the Coke room?" The source is from me.
I made it up.
Who put all these toilets in the Coke room? Oh, man.
That's amazing.
All right, and last thing, we're playing into a lot of artists here on this week, but for week 14 or for day 14, you open it up and you're a little disappointed because all you get is Jeff Amen's weird hat. You get his weird driving cap or whatever he would wear.
I mean, he was a man of many weird hats too.
It was flannel. So. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I don't even know where do you source a hat like those?
Goodwill.
Like, did he have a
back
hat
in the
guy?
day? People probably made them.
People did it. Jeff used to handcraft all of his hats. What's
people made
source?
hats back then.
I
People
made
don't
it up.
Yeah. People don't make hats anymore.
No, people
they just buy them.
A lot of people used to make hats. So that's the next 7 days of Grungemas. So we're through the 14th of December, and from what I'm hearing, because I've had a sneak peek into the production process, it's really going to pick up for the next series of days of Grungemas. I think there's going to be a lot of good experiences for one and all, because Grungemas is a time to be merry. So thank you for joining us thus far on the journey into Grungemas. We'll be back next week with the next installment, the 15th through the 21st of December. But now it's time to get into some This Day in Music. And as we said earlier, a lot has happened on December the 8th, and we're going to start on this day in 1943, and that is the day that Jim Morrison was born, very notably, as we all must know, the lead singer, the frontman to the band The Doors, which has no shortage of people that were influenced by them. And Ethan, I've told this story many times before, but I do vividly remember meeting you the first day that I met you. You were my recruiting host on my recruiting visit to Pitt, and you took me to Drew McFadden's dorm to hang out a little bit. And he had a poster of The Doors on his wall back in the day. So that was one of my first impressions of you, and my very first impression of our producer Drew McFadden. So.
Were you like, all right, these guys know music?
Yeah, these guys are in. You guys knew more music than I did at the time, but
yeah,
I've been playing catch up ever since. So happy birthday to the late great Jim Morrison.
You put in some really good work over the years, I'd have to say.
I'm trying my best, man.
Yeah, dude, getting better every day. So
a lot of people are
sharing birthday with Jim Morrison. We actually have two other people on the same day, and that is 2 or 4 years later, Greg Allman was born. And then fast forward to 1966, Sinead O'Connor was also born. So
absolutely, dude. Greg
trio
Allman,
of birthdays.
Yeah, and all three of this trio have since passed away. Sinead O'Connor passed away, I think, a couple of years ago, and Greg Allman passed, I believe, in 2017. Love and adore all three of these artists, particularly Greg Allman. I was huge into the Allman Brothers band and even Greg's solo stuff all throughout college. My track and field coach at Iowa State was a big blues guy, big Allman Brothers guy, kind of all that stuff. So whenever he had the van on the road trip, we'd be sure to plug in and get some Statesboro blues going, or some Whipping Post, or Melissa, or Ain't Wasting Time No More. I was just listening to the Eat a Peach album actually earlier today. So happy birthday, to all of this, each member of this dearly departed trio. So we're gonna kick it forward 1 year, 1 year past Sinead O'Connor's birth in 1966, moving forward to 1967, and this is something that's taken us, and it's got a pretty good hold of us this evening as we're recording. But on this day in 1967, the band Traffic released their debut album called Mr. Fantasy, and I'll tell you that Traffic's music, as I just said, it's kind of got us in a little bit of a chokehold. Very frequently when we do this show, especially when we're reviewing an album, but even otherwise, Ethan and I like to have some music playing in our headphones in addition to each other's voices, and it's a Traffic night for sure. I've had Feeling All Right, I've had Dear Mr. Fantasy, I've got Who Knows What Tomorrow Will Bring right now, but the main entree of the Traffic discography is none other than The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys from the 1971 album, also called The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys, and it is a journey. It's about 12 minutes long, and it has everything that you could possibly need.
It's so good. This band is definitely moving fast, high up the ranks for bands that I like to get into.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't love a good Traffic jam? And yeah, these guys are a lot of fun. Dear Mr. Fantasy is so good. I do love the album name being the same as the best song on the album, which is Low Spark, and also Dear Mr. Fantasy. So been listening. I got a lot to learn about them still, but I've been really enjoying my time. And I got right now in my ears, I have No Face, No Name, and No Number off of that album.
That's it. A cousin of No Shirt, No Shoes, No Service.
No Face, No Name, No Number. Love it.
That's it.
All right. All right, let's move up. 1971, December 8th.
1971.
Reginald Dwight legally changes his name to Elton Hercules John. He had been using the name Elton John since 1968, but had never made it official. And the middle name he had picked up to honor his mythological hero, which I love, and who also happened to be the name of a horse on one of his favorite British TV shows, Steptoe and Son. I always wondered where Hercules, if that was actually
the origin,
his given middle name.
People don't use that name anymore, right? Like I always think of
Hercules.
The dog in Sandlot was named Hercules, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, you can name your pets like mythological creature names, like Zeus or something. Like that's a good dog name, but to call yourself that is, I mean, Hercules was a god, right?
Sounds right.
Or Zeus was the god. Hercules was his son, or.
A lot of people were gods, Ethan.
Yeah, a lot of people were gods. So I don't know if I would name myself Hercules, give myself that name. I mean, that's a big ask. But Elton John. I mean, if anybody can live up to the name Hercules, or anybody can live up to the name Elton John, it's him or Billy Joel.
Oh, dude, if you had to pick Elton John,
the battle continues.
Joel.
This is a tough one. I'm going Billy Joel.
Really?
Yeah, you're an Elton John guy, though.
Yeah, I'm picking L10 for sure. big L10 guy.
Doesn't have Piano Man.
Dude, he doesn't. But Elton John has many. Elton John can take you to the pilot, and Billy Joel's not capable of doing that. But nevertheless, the battle does continue, as you said. A couple more events here. Moving forward to 1973, Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor is born, Iowa's own. And I think all of us, not all of us were Slipknot guys at any point in time, but we all knew people who were Slipknot guys. My seventh grade cadre of music fans, a couple of them had gotten into Slipknot at the time, and I tried. And it really wasn't for me, but nevertheless, I won't let that stop me from wishing Corey Taylor a very, very happy birthday, because I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah, Slipknot was a band that I wanted to get into, but I wasn't like so into the heavy stuff at that point in my life.
Right.
And I kind of missed the boat. But like Slipknot, they have like a very serious following, and because they were extremely musically talented.
There's not many casuals, I think.
No, Corey was an incredible vocalist. Their drummer, Joey Jordison, he was like incredible. He passed away early.
Yes.
And they played it was just havoc, but like in the best way. I mean, they did some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
I just want to go back, Chris, and ask if you had to choose the Rocket Man or the Piano Man.
Oh, dude, I'm blasting off, burning out my fuse up there alone. Although, I mean, the Piano Man, they're sharing a drink called loneliness, which is better than drinking alone. And Paul was a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And Davey's still in the Navy, and he probably will be for life. So that is a very tough challenge.
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Rocket Man versus Piano Man. I do really enjoy some Rocket Man.
Yeah. But dude, I don't know, the more I think of it, Piano Man's pretty great.
Yeah. Tough call. We'll get back to you on that one.
I can't call it for you.
All right, moving to 1980, a big event on the calendar. This is the day that John Lennon was shot and killed, and tragic day in music history. A lot of people mourned, and they say music was never the same. The day that music died, right?
I mean, the official day the music died was Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. Crashing their plane outside of Clear Lake, Iowa. But the music has died many times, unfortunately. And this one, obviously, I think anybody who had a pulse in the 60s or 70s was sufficiently shaken up by this, and definitely before his time. So,
moving on. Rest in peace, John Lennon.
Moving on here, yeah. Rest in peace,
John Lemon.
John Lemon, exactly. Oh man. All right, let's move up to 1995. And on this day in that year, the Grateful Dead officially announced their breakup. This came a few months after the death of Jerry Garcia earlier in 1995. But they announced their breakup on December the 8th of 95, saying, "The long, strange trip of the uniquely wonderful beast known as the Grateful Dead is over." And a couple of the guys, Bob Weir and some others, went on to do, some different side projects. But then obviously as time went on, Dead and Company became a thing. And, they're still in the ballpark. Those of us those of them who are still with us, are still kind of out there doing their thing. But a similarly somber day, with the official breakup of the Grateful Dead.
Really sad day. Sad day. A lot of deaths on this day too. I guess that wasn't a death.
We start with a trio of births, and now,
we're finishing up with a trio of deaths. So that takes us to 2004. Dimebag Darrell, his actual name Darrell Abbott, passed away, and he was 38 years old. He was shot dead at the age on the stage. He was shot dead on stage while performing with his band Damage Plan in El Rosa Villa in Columbus, Ohio. And very, pretty ridiculous, honestly, to be, shot while performing on stage. And
so tragic,
he was,
man.
Yeah, a lot of guitarists will point to Dimebag as one of their biggest influences. And what a nickname! First off, Dimebag.
Absolutely.
I mean, no one really knows what that stands for, but right. We can only use our imagination.
Yeah, the jury is out. But speaking of, in the same way that I was never a Slipknot guy, I've never gotten into Pantera, but we all know somebody who's a big Pantera fan, and just listening to the passion with which they speak about that band and these guys, both Dimebag and Vinnie Paul as well, the music that they made, you can tell how big of an impact they had, and a unbelievably traumatic thing to happen. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Right. He'd be 62 or something like that. So
yeah. Yep. And it's it's been 21 years now. So
yeah. So sad way to end it, but some legends, honestly, a lot of big names on this list.
A lot of big names on doing things on December 8th, so pay tribute to all of them.
That wraps up this day in music, December 8th. Pretty altogether pretty solid, a lot of good stuff to talk about. Now we're going to get into we decided to talk about some grunge covers over the years that we really enjoy. I mean, there's definitely the big ones that everybody will probably kind of think of, maybe the Unplugs of the world and whatnot on the big stage. But it's hard to pick because a lot of these bands do covers. I mean, who doesn't love a good cover at a concert?
That's the thing, man.
Yeah, some get recorded and we have on different albums, or and really get taken as their own, and sometimes you got to really search on YouTube to find that that cover that everybody talks about.
Digging for gold here for sure. And I will say this discussion, similarly to Dave Shalloway's list of Father's Day adages, this is a non-exhaustive list.
That's right.
The songs that we will discuss, there are many others out there, and it's always interesting anytime, Ethan, that we prepare for a conversation like this. You kind of comb through your brain, you comb through different playlists and whatnot to try to cast as wide of a net as you can. But invariably, as soon as we hit publish on this episode, you think of songs that you didn't consider at the time when we were preparing for this. So we'll just kind of riff on some of these that we really like here, and I guess I want to get started here. The Beatles pop up a couple of times, just different songs that
everybody
I've thought of here.
Them.
Everybody covered the Beatles. You've obviously got, Pearl Jam covering I've Got a Feeling, which we saw the first time we saw Pearl Jam in 2016. That was the first time Pearl Jam had played it in a while. They used to play it all the time in the early 90s. But one Beatles cover that I've mentioned ad nauseum on this show is Soundgarden's cover of Helter Skelter. Which they did pretty frequently throughout the Down on the Upside tour. They would do this thing where they would play Helter Skelter, and it would just kind of morph into the song Boot Camp, which is such a great pairing. There's a really good tandem of that on their Live on I-5 live album, which they put out. Yeah, man, this is, some of these covers are like pretty to a T how the original artist did them. And some of them take, an unbelievable amount of liberty and interpretation in the band's own style. And the Soundgarden cover of Helter Skelter certainly falls into the latter category. And it's just like, if you asked each member of Soundgarden to do what they do best on this track, that's exactly how it came out. Both that officially released live version of it from Live on I-5, but also, I love this cover so much that like I'll go back and find soundboard audio from their shows from the Down on the Upside tour and just listen to each of them and just to see how they did it and see how especially sludgy it was on some nights and sufficiently drunk this jam was. And that's what I love about it. Helter Skelter, the Beatles version, was sufficiently chaotic, but Soundgarden put certainly a different spin on it, and it's always been one of my favorites. And it is in my frequent rotation for any time where I'm preparing or maybe driving to or getting ready for a big athletic performance or competition. This one's always in my ears. I just competed in October at a weightlifting competition, and this was the last song that I listened to before I took the headphones out and entered the field of battle. So I'll never get tired of this one. It's always near the top of my most listened to songs each year.
I have to say, Chris, I'm not the biggest fan of this one.
That's fine, man. Hey, there's enough out there for everybody else.
And I also just don't like the song by the Beatles, Helter Skelter.
Well, I don't either. That's the thing. Like, I don't really, like, I never listened to it.
Yeah. I know. I wasn't accusing you of listening to the Helter Skelter version or the Beatles version of it, but it's
Beatles accusations
do not
sufficiently dodged once again.
This aggression will not stand.
No,
man.
I'm talking about drawing a line in the sand here, Ethan.
No, you're right. It is really sludgy, and it would be an incredible intro to boot camp. So I can definitely see where it's, it's more of an intro. Like you said, it's kind of like, it brings it in. So in that case, it's really solid, but standalone. But you're right. I guess it is intro to your weight room and stuff. So maybe I'm just listening it improperly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Who's to say? All right, tell me one that you like then.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well,
you have the ball.
I already know he's going to say don't like it. Now, let's see. I'm gonna go down and say that "Dancing Days," the Stone Temple Pilots cover of Led Zeppelin's song, it's one of those songs that I first listened to it and I had no idea that Led Zeppelin was the original artist behind it. So I have to put that as one of my favorites because I really thought that STP did it so well. I mean, the guitar work is like, it screams Stone Temple Pilots. It's like almost, it's almost weird.
So groovy,
but then you
listen
to the lead version. You're like, oh yeah, okay, this is definitely a Led song.
Totally.
So yeah, that song is just, it's a ton of fun. It really is like right up there, right in their Q zone. Like they just kind of crush it the whole time. So it had to be mentioned.
Yeah, this is a really perfect one. And the genesis of this one, there was sometime in the late 90s, there was a tribute album to Led Zeppelin that was put together by a bunch of various artists. And they were, this happens many times throughout throughout music history where, people come together and pay tribute to a specific artist. There was an Elliott Smith tribute album that Julian Baker did a song for example, but bunch of different artists contributed to this. One that also is on that album that I would like to shout out is the cover of the Led Zeppelin song "Hey Hey What Can I Do" by Hootie and the Blowfish. I gotta say, like the boys bring it on that one too, and they kind of put their own spin on it as well. But getting back to the Dancing Days cover from STP, like it's one of those things where this is as close to maybe any of the songs that we'll talk about, whereas the original band or songwriters put it together, but the band that covered it really made it their own and kind of put their own stamp on it. And this is definitely one of them. Like all the guys in STP inhabit this song so well, especially Scott. Like there's they did a performance on the Howard Stern show in the late 90s of this, and it's so good. I'm definitely going to be listening to that one probably as soon as we get off this pod.
That is a great call. The Howard Stern version, that's really good.
Yeah, there's some other good. I mean, Chris Cornell's cover of "Thank You" that he did is super good too. If we're just talking Led Zeppelin covers as well, I do want to stay for this next one in the Chris Cornell universe, and I do want to shout out the Temple of the Dog cover of War Pigs by Black Sabbath, which they did pretty consistently on their 25th anniversary tour back in 2016. There's a really good video on YouTube of them, from the front row, basically, from a gig they did in San Francisco. And, you've got, like, obviously Chris's voice serves the song so well, but you have Mike McCready playing guitar in Temple of the Dog, who was so influenced by Black Sabbath, even to the point of when he would play live, like he would riff War Pigs in the outro, with Pearl Jam. And, they just crushed this one too. I mean, Matt Cameron's just banging away as well. And it's just it's a really special cover, a lot of energy too.
Yeah, that video is really well done, and actually, I mean, it looks like it's professional, not just from a phone. It's
big time. Yeah, they came prepared.
And yeah, Chris's voice is perfect for this one, and it's just like I'm just comparing it to the Helter Skelter, like it because it's similar enough where you hear the parts, but it has their own twist on it, which I do like when it's totally different.
Right.
But yeah, this one is really solid. That was a good choice by you.
Thank you.
I know you're a big War Pigs guy when it comes to.
I'm a huge War Pigs guy.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Sure is. Man.
Okay, I'll do one next. I was trying to think. Yeah, again, just maybe something that people haven't heard or listened to, but Dinosaur Jr. does a version of Just Like Heaven, and it's really good. It's beautiful, and I think when I hear covers, or when I like to listen to covers, I like when the artists, I like when it fits them really well, like the Dancing Days. It's just like perfect. Right. And this one, so it's a Cure cover. And, Jay Mascis has like kind of a whiny voice, and he kind of plays, he's definitely influenced by that time. And, it just fits really well. And it's just like, oh yeah, this is like, I know this song, but it's done by one of my favorite, random artists. And like, all of a sudden you're just like, oh, this is so cool. And like, I think when you go to a show and the opener, and sometimes, when the band is so big, maybe you don't need to hear covers, right? You're just like,
maybe you don't want to hear covers either.
Yeah, you're kind of like, you have so many good songs, but like when the band is like obviously on the way up, or if it's a more niche band, maybe Dinosaur Jr.
Or if it's a long set list too, you have the ability that you can burn a song or two on something.
Right, that too.
On
yeah,
original
that
material.
Too. So this one just kind of fits those checks those boxes where you're like, I really like these guys, but here's a recognizable song done in the way that sounds like Dinosaur Jr., The Cure is whiny too, but, a little whiny, and kind of the guitar kind of flailing. And so it's just a really solid version of the song, and had to put it in there. Oh, and I just thought of one of my favorite covers for like this exact thing. So anyway.
Absolutely. Do you want to roll right into that?
No, you go ahead.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna change lanes a little bit here, and we're gonna go to a song that Blind Melon covered that I'm a big fan of. So listening to Shannon Hoon, and I'm sure at the time and every day since, he got a lot of comparisons with his voice to Janis Joplin. There are a lot of commonalities there in the way that they sing. And when I discovered that for a 2 meter sessions, performance that they did, I think in 1993, maybe 92, I think 1993, they did cover Me and Bobby McGee, which was popularized by Janis Joplin, written by Chris Christopherson. And it was kind of one of those moments where, I'd been listening to Blind Melon and Shannon Hoon for a long time. And I definitely noticed and give credence to the Janis Joplin comparison. So, the day that I found out that this existed, I was like, I absolutely have to listen to this. And it was really really appealing to me. And that particular session as well, that particular performance, you can tell that the guys are having a lot of fun with it too. Right towards the end of the performance of this one, the guys are cracking up. Shannon's got a big old smile on his face, which is really, really cool. Honorable mention from that session as well, they did cover Candy Says by the Velvet Underground. I think that's another artist or band rather that just makes sense for Blind Melon to have covered. So a couple of good additions there that I think people need to check out.
Yeah, and this song you put on there, and this is exactly what I was just talking about with the last two covers I brought up. In Shannon Hoon singing a Joplin, and hearing their voice comparison, but slightly different. You get the difference in the high notes, the way they hit them, and it's just such a fun song to hear Shannon do because of the similarities and comparison. So this is a good one.
Absolutely.
So the song that I was talking about just came up in my brain. It was actually released I think 2023, but it is Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, and it's a cover of The Police by the Afghan Wigs.
Okay. And I'm not familiar with this one.
Seriously? Oh, yeah. Dude, put it in your ears right now if you can. I've definitely, it's been a song of the week for me when it came out 2 years ago, and it is, they slow it down, and they it's a deeper voice, and it is so kind of haunting and wanting, and it's just a really, really solid rendition of the song, and it totally has to be. It's one of my favorite covers.
Greg Dooley, man, the king.
Yeah, dude. I definitely need to listen to some more Wigs.
Yeah, dude. The Wigs, and then the project that Greg Dooley did with Mark Lanigan called the Gutter Twins. I have to vouch for that as well. If you're jonesing to get into the Dooley world, yeah. Actually, if we're talking about covers, one of the, I can't remember if it was released before or after he passed away, but one of the final collaborations that Dooley did with Lanigan was a cover of Girl from the North Country by Bob Dylan, which is a really, really good rendition. It's backed by piano, and it's pretty stripped down, and it gives each of their voices some pretty good room to just navigate around there. So that's another one that I think people should check out. But a lot of these artists, like you take someone like Lanigan or you take Greg Dooley, these artists have been making music for 30 years, 30, 40 years even. So there's more covers that they've done than you would think. And it's fun to kind of get into the weeds a little bit and discover these things, because oftentimes the covers aren't what gets the press, and it's not what gets the recognition, but they're cool little road apples that you can find along the way.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen that often where people they go to the studio and record a version that is going to be printed and out there. Usually it's done at live shows, and it's more nuggets and stuff that you need to go search for. So, I'm interested in the Gutter Twins. I haven't listened to them very much.
Yeah, man, it could
at
be
all.
Could be
Unless
worth
you've
a
sent
look
something
there.
to me.
Absolutely, it's good stuff. Is my turn or your turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna segue a little bit out of grunge, but kind of still stay in the 90s ballpark, because that's what we like to do around here. So actually released December 5th, 2000, Rage Against the Machine released an album called Renegades, which was all covers. And one that I want to shout out, well, first, the honorable mention would be their cover of Maggie's Farm by Bob Dylan is really, really great. And both of these that that one and the one that I want to talk about a little bit more fall into the realm of completely transforming a song, completely opposite of what it was originally recorded as. But the one that I really love from this record is their cover of The Ghost of Tom Joad, which was written by Bruce Springsteen. And we all know how big of a Bruce Springsteen fan that I am. But the Rage Against the Machine version, for me at least, hits, and it just takes the cake, and I prefer it to the original. And once again, it's just Rage personifying who they are in the context of this song. And there's a lot of commonalities here, and I think this is a really good song for them to cover, because it's talking about, it's the story from Grapes of Wrath, the Steinbeck novel from back in the day, but a lot of the social things that Rage Against the Machine would talk about and the political things are present in this song, and it works so well, and this is for sure a favorite of mine. I just suggested this song to one of my lifting buddies who's a big Springsteen guy, but also likes the heavy shit as well, and it got rave reviews.
I didn't realize that album was all covers.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Yeah, they do Street Fighting Man as well. And then Kick Out the Jams, the MC5 song. That's another one. Like, I prefer Rage's cover versus the original.
Well, and Rage is the perfect band to cover something, right?
Yeah, and to completely make it their own.
Beastie Boys, or these bands that have like the most distinct sound that you can think of, and then they take a song and they do it in that version. It's like,
special.
It's special. It's different. It's always going to be creative, and like it's a lot of fun. So it's a really good pick. And I think I like that version a little more as well.
Totally.
We're talking about it.
Yeah. The cool element to this one little segue here, I think it was in 2012, but Tom Morello ended up joining Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band for a full tour in 2012. And when they would play this song, they would play Ghost of Tom Joad. Like, they kind of Rage Against the Machine-ified it a little bit, and they let Tom free on the track a little bit when they played it live, which I thought was super cool. And it just speaks to the versatility of the track, and also just how good of a guitarist Tom Morello is.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody liked that.
All right. Let's move on to, we got a few more here. Like I said, this list is not...
it's a non-exhaustive list. I've got one more that I want to talk about. That's it. So
okay. Do you want to go real quick?
Yeah, sure. I'll go. We're going to double dip on the Black Sabbath covers here, and we are going to go to Alice in Chains covering the mighty song Sweet Leaf, which they never cut in the studio, but they, at least one time, they did cover it. It was for like a one-off benefit show or like a birthday party or something that they played. And I remember this video was making the rounds around the time that Ozzy Osbourne died earlier this year, and it was the first time that I'd seen it actually, and it really took hold for me. We're big fans of the song Sweet Leaf around these parts, and the fact that Alice in Chains covered it, once again, I think it's just a cover that just makes sense, and it sounds just perfect.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is a good one. Sorry, I'm just I'm thinking of how we've told the Sweet Leaf story on here before, right?
Yeah, the Youngstown State meet in 2015.
Oh, I was going to say Sweet Leaf Bible.
Neighbors.
The Sweet Leaf Bible.
What?
Oh, I'm thinking Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I'm getting them mixed up.
The wrong type of sweet.
Sweetwater, Sweet Leaf. Oh man. Yeah, we've told that story many times. Now this is a good one, and I think it's just specially connected to us through our history and
absolutely,
because just a ridiculous. I mean, Sabbath is a good band to get a cover it, cover them
1000%.
All right, last song that I want to bring up is it's one of those covers that you just kind of like it because you don't really like the band that is the original person. And so you probably know the song Everybody Hurts by REM, and I don't know, REM doesn't get a lot of love from us, and maybe they're better than I'm giving them credit, but the Meat Puppets actually do a version of Everybody Hurts, and
that's awesome.
It's really, really solid. It's good. And it's not on Spotify. You have to go to YouTube for this one. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And the Meat Puppets are badass. So like, it's cool. And this one I actually, I just saw like on a Reddit one time, someone talked about it. I was like, what the hell? And I listened to it, and it's really solid because Everybody Hurts. That's a good song. Yeah. It's just REM. It's just REM. Stipe or whatever.
Michael Stipe.
Yeah, Michael Stipe. Stipe.
Stipe's Zunic or whatever that shot putter's name was.
The legend, the track and field legend back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, you'll really enjoy this one.
I'm gonna check this out because I want to love that song, and REM is the it's the roadblock.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. I think you had to be there.
What is their song? I don't even know their best song. It's Everybody Rules the World. No.
No, because that's Tears for Fears. You're talking about Losing My Religion. That's what you're thinking of.
Losing My Religion. Okay. Yeah. I could do a 30-minute podcast about that song. Sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing My Religion. Oh, yeah, man. I do not.
I can't do it.
I do not get along with that song. I don't know what it is. Yeah. It's like that and Amber by 311. There's a few songs, and I'll go to the grave. Like, if you can like stuff on Spotify and any app, I should be able to dislike things and have it never show up again.
I think you should as well. I
have a song come across and I don't like it, and I want to
leave my feedback.
No. Yeah, I think you can do it on playlists, but like in general, I just it's not going to be on a playlist that I listen to, or I don't know.
I would agree with that 1,000%.
I'd skip REM.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I would banish them from my library.
Stipe.
So yes, Stipe. Oh man, I want to rapid fire a couple that we didn't get to, but just for the sake of mentioning them, obviously Pearl Jam's cover of Rockin' in the Free World, Pearl Jam's cover of Baba O'Reilly, all of the Nirvana covers that they did for Unplugged, I would say are essential. Ethan, I'm sure you're not a fan of Soundgarden's cover of Come Together by the Beatles, but I have a soft spot for it. Right. We also want to mention Mudhoney's cover of Hate the Police by the Dicks. But if we're speaking of covers, there's two things that I want to mention here. First of all, in my opinion, the king of covers, the all-time king of covers, was Joe Cocker. Mm-hmm. And I've got him playing in my head right now. You've got She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. You've got With a Little Help from My Friends, Space Captain, Feeling All Right, the Traffic song that we referenced earlier. That dude lived in the realm of being able to completely take a song and make it his own. And, I listen to Joe Cocker all the time.
Some would say he has the best voice of them all.
Dude, his voice was absolutely unbelievable.
It's special.
Yeah, it was really, really special. And then the last thing that I want to mention, which, Ethan, I might have to campaign for us to do a proper album review of this. Okay. But in 2005, on July the 12th, an album was released by an esteemed musician who also did some other things in his life in addition to being a musician. And he was a baseball player. He was a pitcher. His name was Bronson Arroyo. And in the aftermath of winning the World Series with the Red Sox and helping to break the curse of the Bambino in 2004, Bronson Arroyo did what any good man would do in that situation, and he thought to himself, I gotta get in the studio. And on July 12th of 2005, he released an album called Covering the Bases, which is a cover album, and actually Mike Inez from Alice in Chains, the bassist, played on this record.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna read the track list here, and I would love if we could get into, maybe we get Bronson on for an interview. I feel like that would be sick to talk about this record. He should be free now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of time these days, but it's got 12 songs: Slide by the Goo Goo Dolls, Alice in Chains, Down in a Hole, The Freshman by the Verve Pipe, Everlong by the Foo Fighters, Black by Pearl Jam, Pardon Me by Incubus, Something's Always Wrong by Toad and the Wet Sprocket, Plush by STP, Shimmer by Fuel, Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog, Best I Ever Had, Gray Sky Morning by Vertical Horizon, and then closing with the Standells song, the unofficial theme song of Boston sports, the song Dirty Water. And yeah, gosh, man, it's amazing. I got this album, or like my brother and I got this album as like a joint Christmas present. And one of those, it must have been in 2005 where we picked it up. And I remember we used to listen to this on the way to school every morning. And at the time, Plush was my favorite from this record. And then in the time since, like when your ear isn't developed and when you're a little kid, I would hear STP's Plush on the radio and be like, that's Bronson. Like, it's so good, but it wasn't. But
that's it. They didn't play Bronson's version on the radio?
No, I never heard it on the radio. I'm sure it was always the STP version, but I do have Covering the Bases, the CD over there in my CD stack. So
you gotta break it out.
Might have to burn a copy and send it to you. So
yeah,
I
would say definitely when I visit, I want to be listening to that.
Oh yeah, and it's fantastic, man.
Talk about striking when the iron is hot.
Yeah, you win the World
Series, and then you play everybody's hits. Yeah. You play all the hits from you.
You see that all the time with like a basketball player, like a football player. Like they win the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl, and then like a couple months later, like they're featured on like some hip hop artist's new song. You know, like there's a lot of credence to striking while the iron's hot, and Bronson certainly did it.
People have marketing degrees out there and they're using them.
Oh, yeah.
If Bronson released that album now, would it get as much? Would you have one for Christmas? Who knows?
I mean,
Probably.
honestly, we don't lie in 2025. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
But
I
dude,
wouldn't put it
it's
past
pretty
you
great.
though, to have it.
Yeah.
I would be down to do a little deep dive into Bronson's
I think we should,
Bronson's
dude.
catalog.
Yeah, it's a heater.
It is. I mean, he played on Black that night. Did he play 2 songs?
No, he came out for Black.
Just Black.
And then they did the other special appearance was Eddie Vedder did Sleeping by Myself from his ukulele songs. And he was like, it was after the intermission and Eddie Vedder standing up there all alone. He's like, can I get a uke up here? And Kevin Euclid came out to deliver the ukulele to him.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't it be great to be like a very famous musician and just be able to do stupid shit like that?
Yeah. Or a famous baseball player.
Yeah, and just be able to go on
like
stage. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but when Petey just finished up his tour of the Yips album and he was playing in Minneapolis and he had Joe Mauer on stage.
Yeah.
Joe Mauer just came out and he was like, hey, that was it. It was awesome.
Yeah. And it's like when you reach a certain level, you can do stuff like that.
Dude,
you can cross worlds
and the
easily.
truest thing I've ever heard is that every rock star wants to be a sports star and every big leaguer wants to be a rock star.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So Bronson Arroyo thought to himself, why not both? And he did.
And he did. So I did.
And so I did. That's pretty great.
Man.
A lot of covers, man.
A lot of good covers, and we didn't really even touch. There's so many covers. I mean, we barely gave any time to Nirvana's Unplugged,
Right.
and that's what everybody thinks of. But we've done that. We've talked about them plenty.
Yep.
And yeah, when you go to a show, when you go to a Pearl Jam show, you're gonna get a few covers, and it's great. Everybody, you do like a reprise when you have, if it's a 4-hour show or something like that. It is definitely fun to
you need
mix it up.
you need something in there.
And the nice part about, especially like we just said, when you have a big band playing a cover, you never know who's going to walk out on stage. And then when they're playing a duet, or it's not really a duet, but a collaboration on stage, oh, now you're cooking.
Oh yeah, you're cooking with gas.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty great.
All right.
Excellent.
That's it. That wraps up December 8th of the Grunge Mama podcast.
It sure does, man.
I mean, we give you a ton of songs there. As far as songs of the week go, maybe we'll put this into a list here and we'll
and transmit it out to the people.
Something simple.
Absolutely.
Unless you want to say anything else, Chris, I think that does it.
I think that wraps her all up. So stay tuned for next week for the third transmission of the Grungemas series. Looking forward to seeing what the calendar has in store for us for the next week of Grungemas. But Ethan Shalloway, always a pleasure. Thank you out there for listening. We really appreciate your attention, and it's always fun to hang with you every week.
Amen to that. Have a great week, and we will see you, and you will hear us. We won't see you. You'll see us and hear us next week, same time, same place.
Stay heavy. Hanser.